familia? ¿Cómo están? Aquí Economía para Todos y más que Economía para Todos, hoy les habla Alfredo Velázquez. Este intro es un poquito diferente a todas las entrevistas anteriores, pero hay un porqué y les quería compartir brevemente el porqué. Obviamente todos los entrevistados que he tenido a lo largo del podcast han sido muy especiales y los considero actualmente como mis amigos. Sin embargo, este capítulo es demasiado importante para mí, porque si me han seguido últimamente en mis redes sociales, publiqué que Johnny Gioeli es mi cantante favorito, pero desde que soy niño. Muchos recordamos los juegos de Sonic Adventure, de Sonic Heroes, y recordarás que el soundtrack y el último nivel, por ejemplo, la canción de fondo es de él. Entonces desde muy niño me encantó, tocó brevemente esa historia en la entrevista con Johnny, entonces me hacía mucha ilusión que me aceptara, me hacía mucha ilusión tener esta entrevista que se ha vuelto una etapa muy importante en mi vida y sobre todo un sueño cumplido. No es el mejor inglés, obviamente, no es la mejor pronunciación, no es el mejor nivel, sumado que obviamente estaba muy nervioso, pero es lo que hay. Entonces espero que disfrutes mucho este capítulo como yo lo disfruté. De hecho está prevista una segunda parte con él por si te quedaron algunas dudas que quieras comentar, que quieras que te cuente él, lo puedes dejar en los comentarios y muchas gracias por apoyar este contenido. Bienvenidos nuevamente a un capítulo muy especial, and welcome back. We have to say, we have an interview in English. Welcome back, or welcome for the first time to Talking with Everyone. Today is the most special chapter of the podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Johnny Gioeli. How are you, Johnny? How did you
I'm
do?
great, bro. I'm great. Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to do this interview with you and share it with my beautiful Latino community.
Before we get started, I'm going to explain the dynamic of the program. It's a normal conversation, a normal interview. We wanted to know about Johnny as a person and as a musician. It's in both ways. We are talking about we are not to talk about of controversial themes or something that might get us into trouble, so like politics or something like that. We are not normal talking,
Right.
and I like to start always with the typical question: who is Johnny Gioeli or Giovanni Battista Gioeli?
Giovanni Giuseppe Battista Battaglino Perconi Gioeli. So I think that Johnny is a real person, sensitive person. I love all people. I love music, my family. I love dogs. I love the outdoors. I love being creative. I love flying airplanes. I love fishing. Yeah, I'm a pilot, so I love airplanes, and I love to create, at least try to create balance in my life, and I love exercise, and that's why I'm sweating, because before the interview, I was on a run and then jump into the shower and get ready for the interview. So if you see me doing this, I want the people to know I'm not dying, because I know I'm old. I'm not dying. I'm just wiping the warm sweat.
We are forever younger. That's important lesson.
So thank you, bro.
To be a singer, you have to be like a little more outrageous than usual. You like to talk about in front of many people, but you were always a person who liked to talk to people since you were a kid. Or how was your childhood? You was a quiet kid, or how were you?
That's a great question. You know what's interesting about me is the fact that I'm actually, now my family may disagree, but I'm actually shy to a point. It takes, yes, I know everyone's surprised at that, but it takes me, it takes a little time for me to get going.
Okay.
Like if I was invited, let's say if I was invited to a party or something like this, it takes me a little bit of time to get comfortable, you know. But on the stage, that's where my comfort is, and so there I feel really at peace and in my ultimate comfort zone. So when I was young and growing up in the entertainment business, I couldn't wait to get on the stage, whether it was acting, because I actually started as an actor before I started, as I progressed in my career as a singer. So I was very comfortable entertaining in front of people. I couldn't wait to make them laugh. I couldn't wait to, say my lines. And the same thing with singing. once I'm on the stage, I am ready to go. But but my normal person, it takes. I mean, my offstage Johnny is a little more quiet and shy, and my family would totally disagree. But I'm telling you, I am.
Where's the music part coming from? Or the artist part? You're a part of the family of musicians, or where it comes from?
No, not at all. The only musician in the family was my brother Joe, which we started way back before you were even a thought. In like 1989, we had a band together, and you always tend to do what your older brother is doing, if you, or your older sibling. Try to get that out. And so he was so interested in music and had a little band, and I watched and wanted to do what my brother was doing. So other than my brother, no one else was really musically inclined. Or took it to a professional level. Like my father could sing, my sister could sing,
Okay.
but never at a professional level.
Just like a hobby.
Yeah, like a hobby, or singing around the house or in the shower.
Yeah.
Pretty much like
professional
that.
singing in the shower.
Man, let me tell you something. I've written some amazing songs in the shower and in the bathroom. You wouldn't believe it. A lot of the Crush 40 songs in the bathroom.
I'm going to set to.
We're going to get there, right? Okay.
In your experience, how's growing up as a singer? Because in Mexico, it's a very kind of different than in USA, for example. I have a different interviews of Mexican musician, but here finding a proper school of music, it's very, very harder. Or the incentive of go away, go continue, you can do it. It's, for the culture, it's very different. Or, for example, I talked with Olivares, he's an American musician, but he said that grew up in a musician environment like New York. It's very different. But he said that we have like a musician state or city. In Mexico, no, it's you have to find for yourself. But in New York, you can find like a street of just music. But how was in your experience growing up like a singer or artist?
So that's a very good point. And in America, we do have what we call our pockets of areas that are musically based. Nashville, New York, Los Angeles, where all the record companies are, and a lot of musicians, sort of congregate there, and live there. That is true. But for me, coming up in the music business, I was born in New York, but I was raised in Pennsylvania, which was a state that was very farm and, growing corn and agricultural and things like that, So I didn't have access. I didn't live in that, music community. I mean, we'd have to travel to New York to meet with people and stuff like that. But for me, becoming a professional musician started at a really early age. I knew at 8 years old, and that's when I started actually playing and writing.
Yeah.
At 8 years old. At 11 years old, I became what you call professional. And the real definition of a professional someone or musician is when you're paid to perform or to write. And then you are considered professional because it's a work. Now you're working.
Yeah.
You're not just a hobby. Hey, I jammed with my friends. Woo, I'm professional. No, it's like a real job, And so I knew at a very, very early age, at 8 years old, that I wanted to be a professional musician. And that's really odd, unusual, different, and interesting for sure, because while my friends were out riding their bicycles and playing baseball, which I did all of those things, of course. But I was focused on music.
It's different when we say. It's different when we say I want to be doctor, I want to be lawyer, I'll be a fireman, a policeman.
Yeah.
But right. I want and I will be a singer.
Yeah. And usually that comes later in your life. You go through school and you think, what do I want to do? I want to be a doctor. I'm a bit 8 years old. I'm like, boom. Yeah. I want to play music. And I started playing guitar first. And that has always been my writing tool. I write playing the guitar. And then I played drums. And I was in my brother's band at 11 and had this massive drum kit, drums. Every kid wants to have cymbals. drums everywhere. So I did that, and then I wanted to be closer to the people. I felt like I was in jail behind the drums. So I wanted to be able to smack the hands of the people in the front and just really see them instead of being stuck back here and watching all the fun happen up there. So then I transitioned. But I played piano, I played all different instruments, bass guitar. I mean, just about any instrument I will figure out how to play and use it in some way to be creative.
Okay. I like to talk about the mid school. I guess in Mexico is the secondary, la secundaria as the teenager. Uh,
Yeah.
that part of the life, everybody knows, it's a very difficult part of our life. Everything bothers you. You don't even know what's going on with your own emotions. For some reason, you have the feeling that, my parents are the biggest enemies of my life. For some reason, they don't want to make me happy. I don't want therapy. I want revenge. What was that part of your life?
No, mine was completely opposite. So in school, um, my friends knew exactly what I was doing, what I was trying to accomplish. And at home, the same thing. I had the most supportive parents ever. Most parents would be like, no, you need to do that, you need to, not mine. Mine were my mother managed our group. My father worked so hard so that we could have the instruments that we needed. And it was very difficult for them to afford these expensive instruments. And so I had a really unique schooling because all my friends and knew exactly what I was doing. But the teachers, they were a little bit of trouble for me. They didn't understand. I came from this small town agricultural farm, and to be a rock musician,
Uh,
I missed a lot of school, bro, because I was playing a lot of shows. I was on the weekends. New York, upstate New York. I would work the East Coast of the United States. And so I missed a lot of Fridays. I missed a lot of Mondays. And it was difficult because the teachers and the principals didn't understand
yeah.
how a kid that young knew what he wanted to do. It was a tough part for me.
Yeah,
Friends and family, no problem. Teachers, that was hard.
no, and it's different to support the dream of be a rock star. It's different than I want to be a lawyer. Nice, take the book, but it's no social accepted. Like I don't know what to say to be a rock star. It's not common. So
Right. It's
uh,
definitely it's definitely so outside of the normal. And so I understand why the teachers didn't understand themselves.
yeah,
What is this guy like? It just doesn't. Who does this? But I was in the newspaper a lot. Back when we had newspapers, I was always being sort of advertised for shows and events that I was performing at, and so they had an idea, but they didn't quite understand that I was that laser focused to make it my life. And I have made it my life since that time when I was a kid.
and it's different when you want to be a rock star. The alternative of rock star, it's a rebel. It's a person who wants to disturb the society, and you just want to learn a little bit of music, a little bit of instruments. So the stereotype of the teachers and the times, it's today in 2022 could be different, but it's the time.
Yeah, and I will tell you that. So I never ever said to myself, I want to be a rock star, because that is, I don't know, that still today is such an uncomfortable set of words for me because I don't feel like a rock star. I feel like the best
Musician.
Johnny, yeah,
Oh,
musician
okay.
or whatever. But so back then, my focus was wanting to make people happy by performing and creating. So, like a painter, said,
Yeah.
I'm gonna draw this picture of the ocean and the sea and the
Okay.
palm trees or whatever, and then maybe people will love it. That was the same thing for me. I wanted to create art in the form of music, put it out there, and hopefully people would accept it, love it, and then I could perform it. I didn't think about the money. I didn't think about how being like famous, and
Mhm.
because I will tell you being famous is not easy. It's a very captive life. I
Yeah.
mean, you can't just go to the grocery store and or go
Went for
out.
a normal dinner.
Yeah, it's a very difficult life. So it's something that you really have to say, I'm doing it for a very for a reason, for a very important reason. And for me, it's to make people happy, create, perform,
Mhm.
and get an effect from people. You know, when people are affected by your art and by your music,
Yeah.
that's the reward. Everything else is just comes with it. You know what I mean?
Mhm. I want to know, you prefer expressing your own feelings in your music, or you prefer making the people feel something with your music, or both?
Well, certainly both, but I will lean more towards the reward of having someone run up to you and tell you, like, wow, that song, Live and Learn, changed my life, or it gave me comfort, or it saved me, or it made me who I am. It brought me through my childhood. It took me out of darkness. I mean, all those things that we all feel when we hear certain music, um, that is the greatest reward for the musician, to have that happen, or to have someone be affected. It's never, I mean, I sometimes I'll write a song and and I'm and I will get a little, too, uh, because you feel so like you've accomplished the feeling, and if it affects you, and then the next step is, oh my God, I hope it affects everyone else too.
Mhm.
And I'm always so grateful that the ideas and the songs keep coming. That's the big thing, because
Yeah.
sometimes you can dry up, and the ideas go away, but I've been so fortunate and blessed that ideas just keep coming into my head, and I'm going to keep putting it out there so that I can, make people happy, I hope.
Okay, okay. If you think about it, actually, we don't know who were us as a child. Like when we were like 4 to 10 years maybe, we just know what our parents say about us. Okay, everybody's okay. My mother, for example, my mother told me that you were a little bit quiet boy. But it's my mother now. It's my mother. She was like a
Good.
mom. She had like a mommy filter.
Yeah,
So
but I'm always
it
filter.
really, and maybe I was a disaster. But my mom says that a little bit quiet. So you think you were happy as a teenager, like 12 to 18 years old, because in that age you have the perception what are you, what you're feeling. Maybe you don't even know how to put your feelings because it was a teenager, but you think you were happy as a teenager.
Yeah, I was definitely happy as a teenager, and I feel bad for a lot of teens today living in this world, because it's a much different world
Yeah.
than it was when I was a teenager. But I can recall 100% that I was very happy and focused teenager, because I had an incredible family, uh, incredible mother and father that supported us and did everything they could for their kids. So I had a great family life, and I had a great start of a great music life. And I used to always feel bad for kids who didn't know what they wanted to do with their life. I know it sounds strange, and you're not supposed to, I mean, it's supposed to all just kind of happen naturally, right?
Yeah.
But again, I knew at such an early age what I wanted to do, that I used to feel bad when my friends were a little bit lost. Like, I don't know what I want to do. I'm like, why not? I do. I want to
Yeah.
rock. Anyway, so it was interesting. But no, I don't really recall any bad times and struggles, and things like depression, and even like suicide,
Yeah.
and the pressures, and those pressures probably existed, but without us having social media to really drive all of that stuff, we didn't really know if someone was in pain or not,
Yeah.
if they were happy or not. All I knew is I came home from school, and I had band practice at night. I was going to have a great dinner with my family, and if I had time in between, I'd run outside and ride my bike with friends and stuff like that. So we had, you know, it was my entire family. We had a great upbringing in those years. We didn't have the pressures that you guys have today.
Yeah, it's different realities for everyone. I have a normal life at 12. Well, at 15, I went to a seminary for the priest, but that's another story.
Oh,
But
wow.
I wasn't a normal guy, a normal Mexican guy. I felt very happy. But talking with my friends today, I have 25, and they told me when we were to the mid school, they
Yeah.
say I have depression, I have to go to
Yeah.
therapy, and so why? And they told me no, I felt that because my father or my mom or whatever they feel.
Right.
But and it's different for a teenager that or the men. It's particularly for men. Then we can feel something beautiful. I'm a big man. I don't have feelings. I just want to go to the party, kissing girls.
Right.
But they have depression. They need
Yeah.
to need to go to the therapy as a teenager, and it's wow. It's or the difference between the teenagers of United States today with the problems of the mid school, and it's what they have had a gun, but why they have a gun? Yes, the market. They can buy a gun, but it's different. What's the feeling of the teenager to have a gun? It's always it's also a therapy thing.
Yeah. You know that, and my last record that I released was called Heart, Mind, and Soul on Hardline. It's my band Hardline, which was one of my first very big international groups, which featured Neil Sean from the rock group Journey. So this record, Heart, Mind, and Soul, was created and dedicated to put some, you know, put focus on depression that is
Oh,
just has become, yeah. So Heart, Mind, and Soul. The H visually is like a ladder that we climb. Looks like a ladder. The M is the up and down of our
oh,
lives.
okay, okay,
Okay.
okay.
And the S for soul is the winding road that sometimes it's really
Oh,
straight, sometimes it curves. And this was the whole thought process. And I've realized that what we need to do as a society is to embrace the fact that depression and suicidal thoughts is a medical condition that
yeah.
we must seek medical attention. Like a cold. Oh, I have a sore throat. I have to go to the doctor. My ear aches. Oh, my heart feels weird. Same thing, and not try to work through that ourselves. It's bigger than ourselves, and it is really, um, you know, it really has become so apparent in all ages, worldwide, and needs to be treated by a doctor. So that's what Hardline's Heart, Mind, and Soul album was dedicated to. And I, you know, the younger man, to be a teenager in this world with all the social media, you know, I
Yeah.
get it. Look, I mean, I get it. Here I am. You know, we
Yeah.
all, this is the way we now live. We're all connected. But I always have a saying that everything that glitters isn't gold. And the meaning behind that is we're so accustomed to looking at these things and seeing what other people may have that's
Yeah.
more than us. And I'm not just talking about things. I'm talking about, you know, our lives and but everything you see on here is not
It's not real.
necessarily the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything that glitters isn't gold. It might be shiny, but
Yeah.
it's not gold.
Yeah.
But as a teenager, you feel those pressures. You're trying to process all that stuff, and you're always making comparisons to your own life. That's got to be a ton of pressure for a kid.
Yeah.
So I am really grateful that I didn't grow up in this time period. All I can do as an adult is try to support and help people get through those difficult times, because I don't suffer with depression, but I'm normal. I have days where I just want to stay in bed and just like, okay, let's just make this day go away, and I'll start with another one. You know, so I'm
Mm.
normal like that. But for a lot of people, it's an everyday struggle. So anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to get off topic.
Yeah, the social media could be a deep world because
I'm sorry?
for the social media can be a deep
Yeah,
world because,
yeah,
for example, the bullying on our times, you have that bad guy and they push you and that's all, it's finished. But today they have the social media that I'm going to write it in your photo, I'm going to say to thousands of people then write in your photo different things.
yeah,
So, and it's forever. Then if you until you eliminate the photo, the internet having for the rest of your life.
right. When I was in school, and if there was an argument, when you left school, the argument was over,
Yeah, yeah,
and not today. And so that pressure is intense
yeah. Or pretending that the
for
life that you don't have it. I can afford this car, but maybe not.
I was just exactly. I was just going to say that. And I have an 18-year-old son. He's like, Dad, look at this guy's Lamborghini. Look at his Ferrari. Look at his. And I said he probably rented it. Or, oh, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. Or maybe they find it in the way in normal ways.
I say that and then I joke, but then I say, great, God bless him. That's good. I'm sure nothing comes easy. I work very hard for that, but that is not normal. Not normal that a 15-year-old or a 16-year-old has a brand new Lamborghini. Not normal. So when you look at this stuff, you have to keep it all in perspective. So, I mean, that's the thing. You know, what is so missing, I think, today is the fact that people look outside of themselves
Yeah.
for happiness. When we should just look within ourselves. What makes us happy? Is it going for a run? Maybe not. Is it, you know, what is it? Is it fishing? Is it flying an airplane? Is it playing golf? Is it riding a bicycle? Is it being with friends? What is it that finds that creates that inner peace and that inner happiness? Don't look at everybody else and what they have and what they're doing. That's not you. You are unique. You are yourself. You know, love you first. Don't love what other people have. You know, find the simplest things that you can be grateful for, and that starts the process of you know, building happiness within yourself. Okay, I didn't want to turn this into a therapy session, but you know,
it's a good message.
It's a good message, and it's true. You know, we take for granted the smallest things in our lives that are so important. And here's one thing I always say: you know that little tiny toe on your foot, the
Yes.
smallest toe on your foot.
Yeah.
When you hit that sucker, right? Okay, and then it hurts. You realize at that moment how important that little toe is when it's normal, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Be grateful for the little things, and then you grow from there. And stop looking at what everybody else has.
Yeah, I know this is not a psychology podcast, but I always grab that themes because, for example, I have a channel of economy. I'm an economist, but in the economy area, you could talk about philosophy, you could read ethics, or the system that the capitalism, but it's not the money. You don't have to talk about always for money. I could give a good message, or the people that I present in the program is he's a, no, I don't know, lawyer, he's a singer, he's wherever you want, but he's a person. Before that, he's a person. He has a message. He have a or she have a philosophy. He have a way of thinking. He have feelings. But that's why if you want to talk about any theme of therapy of wherever, it's okay. That's just the purpose of the podcast, talking about
it's true. Like real life stuff. I remember when the first Hardline album came out. It was a very, very big album in 1992, going back, oh my God, 30 years. And I remember sitting at a restaurant, and the waiter was like, "Oh my God!" You know, just going crazy. So I called the manager over and I said, "Can I go into the kitchen?" And the manager said, "What for?" I said, "Because I need to show this." He was a young guy. I said, "I need to show him something." And he was like, "Okay, Johnny, go back. So I said, bro, come here. And I started washing the dishes.
Oh,
And he
yeah.
said, yeah, he said, what are you doing? I said, I'm washing the dishes. He said, why? I said, because I'm no different than you are. I just sing, and but I'm a person just like you are, and you're treating me like I'm some kind of, monumental whatever, and I'm just a person. So I'm showing you that I wash dishes just like you do.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so it was a cool lesson, and yeah, I'll never forget that. It's crazy, but
yeah.
yeah.
I had the interviews with the influence of Mexico, and they say the same. I'm a normal person, not just a little parentheses. I just interview like a person who have a message, because I don't want to interview the influencer that just dance for showing their body. But it's okay, it's your body, it's your own
Right,
business, but I don't want to
right,
take your message. So I grab engineering of the food, for example, of the chemistry, but they say I'm normal. I have my own issues. I have my own problems. I have like 10 millions of followers, yes, but I could make mistakes in the information. It's normal. I want to.
yes,
He had depression too, but see, it's a love of person. It's that guy that just you see in the distance and you say I love you. It's that kind of person. Let's say I
right,
have depression. I could smile in the camera, but behind the camera I have depression, and it's okay. You are normal. You're not God. You're not God. You're just a normal person. Like you like the weather. I have the same feeling. I'm feeling like, oh, it's Johnny Gioeli, but I'm trying to be a professional person.
no,
I need to be professional. Like, I
no,
like to
no.
say I have a band Hardline, and I have 20 years to listen to you. I know all your story, but I'm trying to be professional.
Okay, you're doing good. So I finished my 100th album. I have created, either performed, written, or guest appeared on 100 albums. And I'm
Big
going to
number.
tell you, a big number. I feel the same after 100 albums as I did creating album number one. This is art and creativity for me, and that's its purpose for me. All the other stuff that we talked about is just stuff, but the realness is when you connect with people and you make them happy.
Mm-hmm. For example, talking about your music career, talking about Hardline, Axel Rebel, Crush 40, we have the stereotype of not rock star, but as a musician, life of or style of life. What was your best or your favorite part between different bands? For example, in Hardline, I learned that. In X-Ray Band, I learned that. In Crush 40, I learned I feeling like that.
Wow. Okay. So Hardline was my brainchild. That was my firstborn, and that band was the learning process for me, because here I am. I'm in my young 20s, and now we have this $8.5 million record deal. And now it was like, okay, everything I worked for as a kid, now it's really starts. You get to that point, and then it's like, okay, now I got to start again and at a different level. So that was intense for me, and an amazing learning experience. The Axel Rudy Pell Band, those guys are like family. I'm going on 25 years singing for in ARP, and that is more of an old school metal kind of what I grew up with. Black Sabbath, Ronnie James Dio, kind of sound. So that is a very more fun and fun and easy
Okay.
project for me, and I've realized how many fans of that kind of music exist. I mean, when we play, our shows are sold out, and it's just amazing. And then Crush 40. Now, this is an interesting beast.
Okay, okay.
So I was introduced to the gaming community by Jun Sonoy from Sega in 1998. He asked me to sing songs for a arcade game,
Yep.
the NASCAR game, which was Thrill of the Feel for the NASCAR game. And I recorded those songs, and I thought nothing about it. It was a job, and we'll meet in Los Angeles and record, and then great, thank you so much, and blah blah blah. And we worked hard on that stuff, but we cultivated a friendship, June and I, in that short time period that we worked. And then I got a call from him again and said, "Would you like to sing on a game and for Sega?" And I knew Sega, but I didn't know the gaming world
Yeah.
at all. Zero, or like nothing. Like I had Pong and bing,
Mm-hmm.
bong, bong.
Yeah.
That's it. And so I said, "Okay, sure, I'll sing." So he said, "Okay, we're gonna send you some drawings and some characters, and this was Sonic, and this was Eggman, and this was,"
Yeah.
and I had no idea. And I would give this paperwork to my daughter, and I'd say, "Can you read this and tell me, what's going on in the story?" And then I would go into my studio and I would write for that scene the best I could. So this, as you know, has become massively successful. And what I learned from it is that I did not realize or understand how big that community was. I really didn't know. And to this day, I've never played one of my own games that I participated on musically. Never. And there's a reason for it, but I'm not a gamer. I'm a musician, and I support the vision of the game and the gameplay musically. That's my part in it.
Yeah.
But that's my biggest regret, is I didn't understand how massive it was. Now, of course, when I play shows all around the world, even as Hardline or Absolutely Pelt, there's always Crush 40 fans screaming, "Live and learn!" Okay, where I made it, I am. Okay. So it's been an amazing amount of time that has gone by, and I just didn't realize how important gaming is to a lot of people. And I also realized that gaming is a safe place for a lot of people. It's like I learned that we may not be able to control this world outside, but when we're gaming, we can control that. We may not be great at it, or we may be great at it, but at least we have control of it, and we can pause it, where the rest of the world we can't really put on pause.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people, younger people that I've met that that love gaming for those reasons, and that's great. Whatever it is for you is wonderful. For me, it's making sure that I bring that gameplay to the best level it can be musically. Like the payoff, like the final. Thing. So it's been just an amazing, and I didn't even think it was good. When I wrote Live and Learn, I sent it back to June, and I asked him. I said, "Is it good?" I know. And he goes, "It's great." I go, "Are you sure? Does it?" So
Wow.
So like a musician is never really 100% satisfied, and. But pretty much I figured out that people like it. So
yeah. It's an important mark of the history of the video games, because it's not all okay. It's your own music. Obviously, is a big part of the story of that game. But Sonic Adventure 2, for example, it's a very good game, and it's an important process of the history of the evolution in the video games. But I remember I was like 6 years old, maybe 7, kind of that. And I remember playing with my brother. I had a brother and my cousins playing the game. It's a normal game of that time, but in the game you can play the soundtrack in a part of the video game. And I remember playing the final boss with Live and Learn, and I said, "Oh, this is a good song," but just like that. Then I go to the soundtrack and start listening like just the music, and it was like, oh my god, this is great. This is not only good, this is great. And I have considered 5 years older than me, and they told me it's his name is Johnny Gioeli. Is the crush for it? You know, okay. Then came the Sonic Heroes, and then we have what I'm made of. Yeah. Then we have what I'm made of, and the intro of Sonic Heroes, and it's oh my god! And today, 20 years next, what I'm made of. It's my favorite song, and it's my song from the gym of my playlist of the gym, and I have to need a good pump. But what I mean, I need to focus. I need to focus from and it's then I start to searching you. They have Heartland, they have Hot Cherry, and this one. Okay, what I made of Hot Cherry. It's like I don't know what. Then came Axel Rebel, and this one Ocean Time was my first song of you in Axel Rebel, and it's different. Because we have the power of Live and Learn, the powers of the hero, the power of what I'm made of, and then came Ocean of Time. Is
I see you turning away.
They have feelings that's not like a ballad. It's okay, I'm going to listen all the albums, and it's different time. We have to go to the shop of music in Mexico named Mix Up. Now today doesn't exist because we know the evolution of the social media. But I remember I have a sad story about one album of you. In 2007, 8, I guess my city have a natural disaster. I guess it's named fall. The level of water grew up and they covered city. But that's not the problem. I took like 1 month before that. I went to that shop, but I'm from Villahermosa, Tabasco, in the south of Mexico, a little town too. So finding an album of Axel Rebel, it was impossible. I went to to buy a Beatles record, the Beatles.
Yeah.
But I find that I can order their album, so it's okay. I just had to wait 2 or 3 months. It doesn't matter. I need one album of all my favorite bands. I have one album of Black Sabbath, Guns N' Roses. I want at least one, and I need a album of Johnny Gioeli because Crush Party doesn't have a physical album in Mexico, so it was a problem. And they said, okay, you have to wait 2 months or 3 months. Then became the natural disaster. But it's okay, I have to wait, doesn't matter. But the shop fell down then for the natural disaster, and I could never pick up my album. So it was like, no, and so it's over. Yeah, it's over. I know. So I have to wait to. I listen to you on YouTube, and in that moment when the copyright doesn't matter, and then came the Apple Music. So in that moment for me, thought was, Mom, I need money. For what? I need to buy all the albums of Entrevista because I don't want to feel the same.
That's so funny. It's been amazing that's exactly. I mean, I'm so blessed because to have all those bands and have everything, what I say cross-pollinate, like you listen to a Crush song, then you're like, wow, who is this guy? Then wow, he has this other band, Hardline, Axel Rebel. And it all seems to work together. Everyone appreciates the different styles and likes that music for what it is. Axel Rebel is completely different, I think, than Hardline and then Crush 40. And you know what I mean? So it's really amazing, man, how it happened and how it works. And that's why I see fans of all the bands at the shows. It's just really, it's great. It's like it's a massive musical family that comes out and supports. So, man, I'm sorry you went through all that. If I would have known you, I would have mailed you a record. I would have been that easy. I didn't know you back then. I would have just sent you a record.
Imagine, but we don't have social media today. I write you on Instagram. It was easy, but I have like 12 years old, I could think it more than, okay, I'm going
Right.
to, no,
Yeah, of course,
wow,
of course.
it's different times now. And talking about your process of writing, it's
Yeah.
I want to know, do you have a very special process, or you have like, oh, I'm going to take a bath, waiting for inspiration, or what's your how is your process?
No, my process, you would probably laugh. So creativity can happen at any time,
Okay.
whether you're outside, in your car, in your bathroom, or in your kitchen, or in your office.
Okay.
It can happen at any time. When I'm writing specifically for something, like let's take gaming. So if I'm writing for a scene, and they say, "Hey, Johnny, the evil Eggman does this, and Shadow and Sonic do this, and that, and the other." That sort of ignites the creativity because you have, like a movie, you have a basis, you have something to sort of support, right? But when I'm writing other songs, so like Hardline, etc., my process is music first. That's just the way I write. So I'm inspired by music, and then lyrics and melody become sort of the marriage to that. Not sort of, it becomes the marriage to that music, and that's exactly what it is. So when I write hardline music, it always starts with a riff, da 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 da, and then either something hits me or it doesn't. And there's been thousands of pieces that I just don't feel anything. So for me, it just can just happen in minutes. While my wife is cooking dinner, sometimes I've written an entire song. Like, "Oh, okay, that song's done." She'd be like, "What?"
Okay.
Yeah, done. I heard it, I felt it, and it just comes out. And I think that's just the, that's the inborn, that's the God-given gift, and that's why I'm always so grateful that it keeps happening. And it shouldn't be hard work where you're like, "I don't know what to do. I need to light a candle," and for me, it's like I hear music, I'm like, "Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I want to write," and it just happens. I can't really explain it too well, bro. Too, I'm sorry. I hope you understand some of that, but so there are some things that we would say are supported writing, like a scene of a movie, scene in a game, and that process is much easier than just working creatively off of a feeling, something you see, something you heard, whether it's musical or someone shouting outside that gave you an idea of something. You know what I mean? That's what I mean. I love it all, but I love when I'm inspired or moved by something that just kind of comes to me because of music. So like heavy da 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 makes you feel like you want to get to the gym, right? So you're inspired a different way. You feel a different way, and so you can approach the writing that way. It would be more aggressive, right? I'm all of me. Okay, so let's take that song. So when that song was not the song, but when that game, help me, I am all of me. What game was that on? Do you remember? Is that Adventure? I don't know. See how bad I am. I don't know which game. Okay, terrible. But when that was presented to me, all they said was, "This game is going to take on different personalities.
Okay.
You'll be able to change the emotion of the player." I didn't know what that meant, but immediately I thought, I am all of me. I can be anything I want to be. I am all of me. And that's how that song was born. So sometimes you're just inspired by someone telling you something, and you just run from there. So a lot of people don't. I had a friend visit me who's a massive gamer, and I told him that very story this past weekend. He's like, "Really? That's how you wrote that?" I go, "Yeah." That for me was the connection. They said, "Hey, we're going to be able to change the emotion of the player," and I went, "I am all of me. I can be whatever I want to be," and that's the song. So That's the greatest part of the process, bro. That's the greatest part, is being able to be free in creativity. And no one says, oh, no, you can't. No, yes, that's creativity. Yes, that's what I hear. That's what I feel. That's what I'm going to do.
Okay. Do you have a preference about the topic of the song, or like I love, or I prefer talking about love, talking about life, talking about power?
No, I no preference. I mean, again, I love ballads. I do. I love ballads, and I used to love when my father was alive how he was so affected by ballads. I mean, he'd start crying in a minute. He'd just start crying. So I tend to want to sing a lot of ballad stuff, but I'm known for the heavy stuff. I don't know. I write about whatever. I don't have a real preference on a topic.
Okay.
Just whatever moves me, I'll write.
Okay.
I mean, I've even written some rap songs. I mean, I write anything. I was never like that. When I was younger, it was just like rock and roll, rock and roll, rock
Yeah,
and roll.
yeah, normal process of life.
Yeah, that's all I want to do. Rock and roll. I don't want to hear anything else. And now that I'm an old man, it's just I listen and can appreciate anything. Like my son has a crazy playlist. I'm like, what is that? He goes, Dad, that's Russian rock and roll. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah, this is Russian rap. Russian rap. He's like, "Ushka, brushka, brushka, brushka." I'm like, but you don't understand. He goes,
Yeah.
he goes, I don't have to. It's about the feeling of the song. And I went, geez, I should have known that. I should have known that. But so it's really cool that that's the other great thing about social media and having these platforms to play music. I mean, we can listen to music around the world and appreciate little pieces, even if we don't like the whole song. Just pull little things like, wow, that was cool. Yeah. So for me, it's never about a topic. That's called so if someone says, I need a song that is about breaking up with your girlfriend or your boyfriend, whatever, I hate writing like that, and I won't write like that.
Okay.
Because that's called contrived. It's like forced.
Yeah, for first the
writing.
feeling, and I don't feel it today. I don't feel it right now.
Yeah, and that is horrible. And I remember when I was coming up in the music business, the record company that I was on saying, "Hey, write some hits." Write some hits. What is a hit? How do you write a hit? Oh, well, something that is very melodic and the people are going to be able to. I'm like, I can't do that. I used to sit in my studio like, sit there like, I got nothing. Like what?
Yeah.
It was horrible. So I don't write that way.
Today we can hear just musical songs that just need one hit. You have 10 millions in one day and it's over, your time is gone. Who's next?
Yeah, I can't. Yeah.
We lost the feeling of the purpose of the music. In my own opinion, everybody has different opinions, but in my opinion, I prefer a singer that puts her feeling or his or her feelings, and he just, I don't know, have a song like just one song in 1 year. I don't have a problem. It's his song, it's his feelings, yeah, and it's good for me. It has a good message. That's all for me. I don't need 10 songs in one day, every day, or for 10 years. No, I prefer that if he's my favorite singer, but if he have just one song in 1 year, it's okay for me.
Right. I agree.
I need to know. I really need to know of what I'm made of. This story. How feeling? What you're thinking about when you were writing what I'm made of?
Oh wow! So what I'm made of is my favorite all-time Crush song. 100%. That is my favorite song. Next is "Live and Learn" for the nostalgic epicness, and because I didn't think it was a good song, I was afraid that it wasn't going to work. and then I'm All of Me for the power. So what I'm made of. So I remember June calling me and saying that he wanted to write a heavy song, something where the people would be like, "Whoa, that's heavy." And I also wanted to try to take into consideration like Sonic's like power, and I'm thinking about winning, and and I also took into consideration like the whole gaming community and how strong we are together. So that's where it just kind of popped into my head, let me show you what I'm made of. Try to reach inside of me. Try to do these things to me. Go ahead,
Yeah.
try. But you don't know what I'm made of, and it's just, the idea was to reinforce how powerful we are and how powerful we can be if we allow ourselves to be that. You know what I mean? Be strong and move forward. And so that was the whole thing. It just started with, and then again, June sent me the music. He sent me a piece of
Yeah.
so, and then I just heard the let me show you just what I just could picture the crowd, so a lot of times a writer will imagine how it will work live on a stage. I do that a lot. And I knew that those lyrics and that power would really translate live. And of course, when we do that song, all I have to do is sing, let me show you just, and go like that. And then you're like, what? I mean, so that's how it happened. That's how it happened, bro. It was June wanting to do a heavy song and then sending me the music, and then me just being my weird, crazy thing, and just lyrically writing and getting. A lot of times I just get behind the microphone and I'm not saying a word. I'm just blah, 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 and just trying to get the melody where it feels right, like what I'm hearing and what I'm feeling. I just like shout things. And then sometimes those things that you're shouting actually form words, and you're like, wait a minute, that's a good idea. And then I was like, so it can happen in so many different ways, but that's how it happened for What I'm Made Of. I love that song.
I love imagine me, for example, in the gym, and it's a pump, like I said. Yeah, I come to my playlist, What I'm Made Of, perfect, and it starts John with the guitar, and I'm feeling like I'm becoming a super saiyan today with that song. It's my power of growing up, and I'm put 10,000 of plays. I don't care. I have my song. I have all the powers today.
You see what I mean, bro? You just said it. You just concluded and confirmed why I make music, because you're able to put that song and have it make you feel a certain way. That is the objective of every musician, really. So thank you. I mean, that is my purpose. That is what I want my legacy to be. The fact that you will go to the gym or wherever, you're going to put that song on because that song makes you feel a certain way. That's the blessing. It's not the money or the fancy cars. It's the fact that I was able to create that and have it work for your life in a special way. Great.
I like
Great.
it. Special word from my favorite singer.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
This is a real complicated Christian. I say in the beginning that we are not talking about this kind of things, but everybody wants to know. Everybody need to know what happened with Sonic's movie. What is your feeling of not having Crush Fairy soundtrack for that movie? With all respect with the musicians of that movie, obviously, but what was your feeling? What were you thinking about it? That hey, Crush Fairy, it's a big part, or it's an important part of Sonic. What happened there?
I'm going to answer this with a very simple answer.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know. So here's what I believe.
Okay.
And I've talked to some of the production people. I believe that Sonic 3, as we all know, is going to take on a more Adventure 2 storyline.
Yeah, to the shadow. Yeah.
I believe the old cliche, they're saving the best for last. I believe that they they have a very specific plan, and
Yeah.
I think that the final big encore
Sounds logic.
Sonic 3 would probably have Crush 40. You know what I mean? So I think it's part of a plan.
Yeah,
I don't know.
logic. Sounds logic because the Shadow came in the second movie, so you can't talk about Live and Learn without Shadow.
Right?
Yeah. Obviously, we have faith. We can plan or say that, but it's like thinking is like faith. It's logic and faith.
Right.
They have the perfect way to do the perfect movie, or it's not like the story, it's like nostalgic, it's like that, because I have a little sister that she wrote that and she has 7 years old, and they came and she told me, Carlitos, do you know about Sonic? Yeah.
Oh,
It's
you're like, yeah, a little bit.
Natalia. Yes, darling. It was my favorite video game when I was your age, actually. Oh, you know about the how it named the Black Sonic? You she spoiled me the movie. Shadow. Ah, yes, Shadow. Wait, Shadow came in the movie? Yes. Why not? Then I take my phone and run away to the cinema. I need to see that.
Yeah, I need to see that.
But my little sister is, oh, you know about it, and she has 7 years old. I have 25. Like, it's your
Incredible.
opportunity to introduce to the new generation of kids the music of Story and obviously the games of Sonic.
Sure, of course.
The music of Story, but because it's not just Sonic, it's not just Core Story, it's both in a same way. And I remember watching all the news of the movie, and everybody wants Core Story. Everybody hey, where is Core Story? And in your social media on Facebook, everybody, where were you? What happened there? Everybody was screaming.
No, it was crazy.
What's going on?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It got a little crazy, and especially since we had the little Easter egg that said Crush 40 on the radio in the first movie. That little Easter egg caused a lot of uproar. Like, why aren't they? So the production company, the movie world, they know how important Crush 40 is to the Sega community, and I have faith and trust that they will incorporate us somehow, because I think the people deserve it. It's part of it, right? I mean, like you just said about your sister and your experience, it is part of it. So you should make it part of the movie. So I'm hopeful that things will happen for Sonic 3 and Crush 40 for the people. And it's only for the people. I mean, if it happens, I'm really thrilled for everyone. And if it doesn't, I mean, that's Hollywood. I don't know. It just wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense to me. Yeah, it would hurt. But right, I mean, it wouldn't make sense if it was not part. It wouldn't make sense. So somehow, some way, I'm sure we'll take part in it.
We'll see what happens. Okay. You say maybe you are just joking me, and you know about what's going on.
No, I speak the truth. I will say one thing.
Okay.
I did have a conference call with Jun Sonoe where he said that he's been told that we should write 5 new songs as well, for the possibility that we could be involved in Sonic 3. that conversation did happen.
Baby, yes, baby. No, we don't know.
That's all I know. I'm telling you, honest to God, that's all I know. That's all I know. And we haven't written those songs yet. We have to get to work. We haven't written them.
We have work. We've
got a lot of work to do, but anyway.
Okay, but for the final question, what do you want to say to your Latin American fandom?
Oh, first of all, I played Mexico City many years ago. Many years ago. Yes, I know. And it was the most amazing. It was so loud in the venue from the screaming that it hurt. And so I'm segueing into how important the Latin America, community is to me and all the fans around the world. So I appreciate everyone's support endlessly, and I'm so grateful that I could be a part of everyone's lives musically, and it continues, and I'm amazed by it. So I can't wait to get there and hopefully tour. We're talking about doing like the 30th anniversary with the orchestration. We're talking about doing that worldwide in major cities all around the world. So for 2023. 2023 is coming quick, so it's still a work in process. We'll see what happens, but I appreciate everyone's support, all your listeners, your followers, your subscribers, your this, your that, and I'm always very grateful for the support always, and love you guys all.
Well, people, gente, ahí lo tienen. That's the story of Johnny Gioeli, and very thank you for passing through the podcast. It's a very honor for me, obviously, not just in a personal way that I say my favorite singer. I know you're a busy person. You have a lot of work. You have your own life, your wife, your son, and taking a couple of hours here, it was or writing me on Instagram, it was a very special for me, and so very thank you. I'm very grateful for that. You want to say something else before we say goodbye?
I think I want to say thank you to you, because your podcast and that continuous support is so important, that we keep this great family, this great gaming community together always. So thank you, bro, for your time as well.
There's me, for me. Bueno, gente, nos vemos en el siguiente capítulo y ya saben que los quiero mucho. Cuídense y tengan un lindo día. Goodbye.